Yes, good morning, students. So in this session we'll start with another module, third module, that is electric traction. Okay. So the word, if you heard the electric traction, the traction is nothing but it's a movement. So if you are traveling from one place to other place using any of the vehicles, so that is called as a traction. Traction is nothing but it's a movement. Okay. So electric traction is what? So if you are using the electricity for the purpose of the movement of one place to other place, so that is called as electric traction. Okay. So in present days what happens, this electric traction is increases in the major modes of travels and transport. So in majority of the modes of travel and transport nowadays, electric traction is getting its what you can say importance day by day. Okay. So these traction systems are broadly classified as a two categories. So one is a non-electric traction system and the electric traction system. So here what happens, the non-electric traction systems is nothing but, so these do not use the electricity. The traction systems which do not use the electricity are called as a non-electric traction systems. If you want to take an examples of non-electric traction system, so diesel electric traction system, petrol electric traction system, gas traction systems. Okay. And many more. So they are the non-electric, they do not use the electricity for its purpose. So that is why they are called as a non-electric traction system. So whereas this electric traction system, what it is, so electric traction system is nothing but, so it's a traction system which uses the electricity for the purpose. So that is called as a electric traction system. So you can see here, whereas so the electric traction so uses the electrical energy at one or other stages, such as battery driven or AC driven, DC driven, whatever. So in one or the other purpose, so they uses the electricity. So that is, they are called as a electric traction system. So in earlier days, what is the case? So they used to have some steam engine systems. So in a fast around 50 years back, if you're talking about, so they used to have a steam engine systems, so steam cars and steam railways. Okay. So for the purpose of moving the your objects from one part to other places. So later the diesel comes into existence, then petrol engine, gas engine, various types of engines are comes with the traction systems. But so nowadays, because to overcome the drawbacks of the previous traction systems, for example the gas or petrol, diesel, so there are drawbacks, so which will be polluting. So either a petrol or a gas, they will be polluting the environment. Okay. So one thing, and also the availability of this petrol, diesel is little bit, you have to import from the various other countries and other things, so the cost of that is also going to increases. So to avoid this all the drawbacks, now almost all in the India, almost all in the country also, so almost in the other countries in India as well, so they are interested to move towards the electrical energy. So that means, so they have to moving towards the electrical traction system. Okay. So why? Because so it's a pollution free and you can generate the electricity, and even the acceleration of this electric traction drives are more than the your conventional type of the traction system. So that is why nowadays they are moving towards the electric traction system. So now discuss about what are the requirements of an ideal traction system. So if you want to say any of the traction system is an ideal, it's a good traction system, then some of the requirements that the traction system should have. So the first and foremost thing is, so there must be a rapid acceleration. So the acceleration, if you are talking about the traction word, so the acceleration is one of the important criteria. There must be a rapid acceleration. So if you want to say that as a ideal traction system, then the apparatus must be capable to overload for the shorter duration. So for example, if you are traveling for a short duration, so the vehicle capacity of the two-wheeler is around 2 members. So sometimes there will be 3 members will be traveling. That means your traction system should be capable to hold, okay, the larger load for a shorter duration, not for a longer duration, the larger load for the shorter duration. So that is also another requirements of a good traction system. Then the wear and tear should be as minimum as possible. So if you want to say any traction system is good, then there is a wear and tear should be as minimum as possible. and then must be able to run on any road. So it is not restricted to highway, state highway, national highway. So the traction system, if you are choosing any of the electric vehicle, whatever the vehicle if you are choosing, it should be capable to run on any kind of a roads. So that's another very important point. Then the pollution free is once again definitely. So if there is pollution produced by the traction system is minimum, then also we can call it as an ideal traction system. So these are few of the requirements that if the traction systems are having, so then such type of traction systems are called as ideal traction system. Okay, so that's about the traction. And one more is braking should not cause any excessive wear and tear on the brake shoes. Okay, that's also it should be considered to say that an ideal traction system. Then the systems of traction. So we have a various systems of traction. We will discuss about one by one now. So first one is a direct steam engine systems. So direct steam engine system, just word direct steam engine system is the steam car for the road transport is not used now. In earlier days there are steam cars, so they used to carry the charcoal to burn that, then to heat the what is that water. Okay, then steam generated from that water is used to run the steam turbines. Okay, that's the earlier case. So steam cars for the road transport is not used now, but it is used, it is started in the earlier days. Okay, but for railways this system was extensively used. So in steam cars are very less, but in case of railways transportation system, so this direct steam engine, that means you burning the charcoal and boiling the water, getting the steam and running the turbine. Okay, that running the motors. So that is very common in case of earlier days. So in the railway systems, so these railway systems are very extensively used, but now it is not used in the railways. In earlier case they are used, all the railways are running on the steam engines only, but now they are not using them. Okay, in some of the underdeveloped countries, so still we are using, so still they are using the steam turbine, steam based electric, steam based traction system. Okay, so that is called as, I think you have visualized what exactly steam engine system. So it is around 50, around 30 40 years, around 40, 50 years back, they used to, even in Indian railways also they used to have this direct steam engine type of a systems. There are some of the merits of this direct steam engine system. So what are those? Is nothing but, so they have a low initial cost compared to the other systems. So the initial cost of the steam engine is a bit low compared to other types of system. The speed control availability is simple and effective. So there is no interference with the communication network. So if you are using electric traction system, so there must be some interference or something like, but in case of this steam engine system, so there is no electrical, there is no interference with the communication network. So that is the merits. And some of the demerits also we are having. So one is steam locomotive has a limited capacity, means the load handling capacity and other things. If you are talking about that, the steam locomotives or steam engine systems have a very much limited number of, limited capacity of that one, and the cost of maintenance is bit high. So cost of maintenance is bit high here, and the steam engines will have low efficiency. So it's very important here. So steam engine systems are low efficient. So and also one more is the corrosion of the steel structures, which is in presence of the smoke emitted. That means there is a, if you are using a steam engine system, there is a, to boil the water and other various parameters, you need a steel structures. The corrosion of that steel structure is also happens because of the presence of the smoke which is emitted by the charcoal and other things. Okay, so they are the demerits of your direct steam engine system. So next is a direct IC engine system or internal combustion engine system. So this direct internal combustion engine systems are commonly found in the road transport. You can see in almost all in the road transport, in almost all the automobile industries. So this IC engine systems are used. So initially we have a steam engine system, then we move towards the IC engine system, that is direct IC engine systems. It is such type of systems or tractions are most commonly found in the road transport. Okay, so it is suitable only for the road and light railway work, but not for the heavy works on the railways. So this direct IC engine systems, so that is preferably or suitable to for the road transport and also the for light railway systems, but not for the heavy works on the railways. So this is the direct IC engine system or internal combustion systems. So there are some of the merits for this also. Low cost, direct IC engine systems have a low cost, and it is compact and self-contained. That means the size of this motor or the size of the traction drive or triaxial traction system will be compact and self-contained. The efficiency is about 25% better than that of the steam systems. So if the steam systems have a 25% efficiency, they have around 50% efficiency. That means it has a efficiency higher than 25% higher than the steam engine systems, and the braking is quite simple. So in case of steam engine system, the braking is a bit complicated, or what we can say, it is a bit difficult. But whereas in the steam engines, I mean direct IC engine systems, so it is very simple, quite simple compared to the steam engine systems. So as I said, some of the demerits also your IC engine systems are having. So that is the least life of an engine is comparatively short. The lifespan of this direct IC engine system is comparatively lower than that of the steam engine system, and there is no burden on the country's economy as the fuel is imported. And there is a burden, that means, so as the steam engines requires the petrol, diesel and other things, we need to import it from the very other neighboring countries, then definitely, so it will create the economical burden on the country. That's another demerits. Then limited overload capacity. So these are the some of the demerits of your direct IC engine systems. So then internal combustion electric drive. So it's another next type of the electric traction system. So in this, what happens, the internal combustion engines like your diesel engine or used petrol engine, so they uses the prime mover coupled to the generators. So there is a prime mover which will be coupled to the generator. So these DC generators supply the power to the DC traction motor. So there is a DC generator which will provide supply to the motors here, traction motors. So there is merits, or talking about the merits of this IC engine. So the low initial cost compared to the electric traction system, then less time is required to put them in the service. So to if you want to maintain a service and maintenance of that is very less time is required, then the efficiency of the system is comparatively high. Okay, then if you're talking about the demerits of this one, so diesel engine has a shorter lifespan. So this diesel or petrol engines are having a shorter lifespan, and the overall capacity of these diesel engines are very much restricted or limited. Okay, so the maintenance and the running costs are bit high. Maintenance cost and running cost are a bit high in case of the internal combustion engine systems. So next is steam electric drive. So another type of the traction system is a steam electric drive. So in this system, the turbine is used to drive the generator, okay, that supplies the power to the electric motor. Steam electric drive. So there is a steam which is produced from by burning the charcoal and boiling the water. That steam is used to drive the generator. Okay, so that generator is used to feed the supply to the electric motor here. Okay, so that is called as a steam electric drive. So we are using a steam also, electricity also. That's why it's a steam electric drive. So but due to the mechanical difficulties and the complications, this system is not employed generally in the various purposes. So mechanical difficulties and the complicated in operations, so this steam electric drive is not so commonly used in the transportation system. Okay, so another type of electric transport or a traction system is a battery electric drive. So battery electric drive, if you heard the word, just look at the word battery electric drive. So here what happens, a bank of a charged batteries, okay, which are carried along with the vehicles itself. So there is a bunch of a carried charged batteries, or a bank of a charged batteries which you are carrying along with your vehicles, and they are used to supply to the DC motor driving vehicles. So you are having a banking battery banks, so you are carrying those battery banks along with your vehicle, so they will be providing a supply to the DC motors. So these are not used in the railways, but find some of the applications in mines and large factories, electric driven. So the main drawback of this battery electric drive is to carry the batteries. Drawback is to small capacity of the batteries and the frequent charging, small capacity and the frequent charging. And also one more thing, so if you're carrying all these batteries along with your vehicle itself, the vehicle weight of the vehicle and the load on the vehicle will also increases, which will definitely slow down the efficiency of the this one. Okay, so that's the drawback of your electric car system. So what are the steam engine system? So then IC engine system, direct IC engine system, steam electric drive, battery electric drive, these are the traction systems which are almost commonly used in the various applications. But to avoid these drawbacks of this pollution, this weight, this that, so there is a one more in nowadays. So another type of traction systems are most extensively used, they are called as a electric traction or track electrification. So electric traction or track electrification, that means, so if any of the traction system which uses the electricity for its purpose, so that is called as electric traction here. So here what happens, this locomotive is equipped with a DC series motors or a single phase induction motor, 3-phase induction motor, whatever. So it consisting of a DC motor, AC motor, single phase, 3-phase, whatever the motor based on the requirement here. Okay, so the electric power to these motors is directly taken from the overhead transmission lines which will be running above the track. Okay, so there is a track, so above the track there is a continuous running of electric cables are there. The power required for this particular traction systems are drawn from the overhead transmission line. So such type of called as a track electrification or electric traction systems. I think so this track electrification in almost all the metro cities, so some of the metro cities this already used, but now in Karnataka, so in a very few places you will find the track electrification in railways. But metro and other things, so the metro in Bangalore which uses this one, but there is no overhead transmission line to draw the power. So the power cables or power lines are running along with the track itself. The power required for the motor is drawn from those particular tracks. Okay, so that's called as a track electrification. So the merits of this track electrification is it is the cleanest of all types of a traction system. Okay, and high acceleration is possible in this case. So the acceleration is very much high here and very less time is required for the maintenance. So to maintain the any of this one, so very less time is required for this maintenance. Okay, and it can be intensively put into the service. That means the very less time you can put into the service, and the completely free from the dust and smokes. There is no dust, there is no smoke from this electric drive system. So it is smoke free or dust free or pollution free, we can say. So the electric braking is superior, and wear and tear on the wheels, brake shoes are very minimum here. Okay, these are the minimum merits of your or advantages of electric traction system. Some of the demerits also we have. So that is they suffer from the high capital cost. So the capital cost of this electric traction is very high, and interruption in the supply paralyze the entire system. So if there is any interruption in the supply which will paralyze the entire system, that is a one very important drawback of this electric traction system. Then communication lines running parallel with the tracks will be have some of the interferences. So if the communication lines are running along with the track, then there must be some interference may be caused because of these electric cables. So that they are the demerits of your traction system. Okay, this is about different types of traction systems which we are used. So we started with the introduction, what exactly traction systems and the requirements of ideal traction system, what is exactly so an ideal traction system is. And then we discussed about systems of traction. So what are the different systems of traction? So one is a direct steam engine system, and then direct internal combustion engine system, then internal combustion engine system, then IC engine system, internal combustion electric drive, then we have a steam electric drive, then battery electric drive we have studied, and then we discussed about a track electrification or electric drive. Okay, we have discussed what exactly are all these types of traction systems and what are the merits of these systems and what are the demerits of these systems. Okay, so this is about different types of systems of tractions. So that's it for today, and in the next video we'll discuss about the another important concept, that is systems of track electrification. So track electrification is nothing but it's completely of electric tractions. So this about this we'll discuss in the next video. Okay, thank you.